Hey guys and gals, it's me, George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man. And I've been down here working on, whoa, back up. The Shade Tree Railroad Man. And because I was climbing on my layout to do some of the plumbing, which is up overhead here, yeah, and I already showed you all of that stuff. Because I was climbing on the layout, it kind of caught my attention, if you know what I mean. And so in between doing other things, I've been picking away at some scenery here, in particular in this area. And I'm going to back my camera out here a little bit more. And prior to what I have just done, this kind of styrofoam right here went all the way down to about this point right here. And so I've started adding to my rock work. My intention is to have that rock work go all the way down the upper level, down to the corner down there. And in the process, I have also been doing some backdrop scenery and adding more trees. And instead of just having, well, let me raise you up here a little bit. Hold on, don't get a nosebleed now, don't get a nosebleed. In some places down there, all I have is just a flat track, you know what I mean? And nothing behind it other than I have some scenery painted on there. Like right down in there. But that's pretty one-dimensional, you know? It looks okay, but it's pretty one-dimensional. So I've decided I'm going to add some three-dimension to it. And I started by sculpting some 1-inch foam. And then I came down along here. And after I moved the train out of the way, you'll see what I did to it when I finally got it sculpted. And I've added some static grass to it. And then I started planting trees to make it look more realistic. You know what I mean? More realistic. Yes, sir, Bob. So that's what I've been doing. So let me back this out a little bit more. And no, I can't give you a full loop because the layout still isn't going all the way yet. Let me get you leveled off a little bit. How's that? And let's see if we can get the old Shade Tree Railroad to do some of its work here. This is one of my original Shade Tree Railroad locomotives that I repainted with my own paint scheme and the Shade Tree Rail logo on it. And as we scan down, you'll see one of my favorites, the Soo Line. And you saw the how-to I did on that, putting a tarp on and tie downs. This is one I did some graffiti on myself. This is another of the dedicated Shade Tree Rail box cars. And when you haul with a Shade Tree Railroad, you've got it made in the shade. Oh yeah, you do. And then finally we come back here to our Shade Tree Railroad caboose. Yes, sirree, Bob. So let's move her out so you can see her in action, and then we'll show you the scenery up close and personal. Dirty track. Dirty track. Yes, sirree, dirty track. I haven't cleaned it at all. It definitely needs to be cleaned. Yeah, that's far enough. So now you can see my beginning part of the backdrop landscaping as far as sculpting the three-dimensional backdrop. Then let me take you in a little bit closer and you can see what we were using for our stonework. Crumpled up tin foil. And then with a little sculpting work and a little sandpaper and a little of this and a little of that, some paint and some static grass. So we got real grass growing on there, you know what I mean? Got that grass growing up on top of those mounds alongside of the railroads. And our trees are all made out of weeds that we find around. Don't ask me to tell you what kind they are because I really don't know. But yeah. And we've even included some of our tea grounds. Tea grounds, some of them make dandy fallen leaves. Yes, sirree, look at that, fallen leaves. You know, they fall off the trees every fall. If you go into the woods, that's what you're going to be finding on the ground. So yeah, we've got some of that going on too, and I'll probably be adding some more. I think I have, let me see, I did put a little bit, I think, at the base of this dead tree here. Just a very tiny little bit. And some other brush and stuff there too. But yeah. So that's where we're headed. That'll give it a little more 3D effect to our scenery. And not sure, we probably won't do it all the way along because I don't want to hide my mountains, you know. But that'll add some interest to it. What do you think? That's where I'm at today on the Shade Tree Railroad. And the glue isn't even dry yet. You can see some, woo, you can see some puddles of my scenic glue. And that's real stone or sand that I get off the side of the road. I get it in the middle of the summer when it's really dry. And then I screen it to 2 or 3 different levels. Let me take you in a little bit closer and I'll show you some of it that I have along the bottom rail, the bottom level. See that down in there? Yeah. And different screenings. I have to anchor this bottom track in a little bit more, and then it needs to have some ballast put on it. I've even started ballasting up the top. How's that? I know, I got brass and then I got nickel track, but hey, I started off with all brass before I learned about flex track and before I was given some and before I bought some. And yeah, well, this is a conglomeration. I started from scratch, and what you see is what I have been learning as I go along. So there you have it, the Shade Tree Railroad today. Thanks for watching, for commenting, and for subscribing. Bye now.